هل اعتنق أندرو تيت الإسلام حقا؟ أم أن هناك سرا أخفاه الجميع؟ بين قضايا خطيرة وتهم تلاحقه تخرج الحقيقة الصادمة. لماذا يتحول المشاهير إلى الإسلام؟ وهل يعتنقونه حقا من أجل الدين أم لأسباب أخرى لا تتوقعها؟ في هذا الفيديو نكشف لكم الحقيقة الكاملة وتفاصيل لم تسمعها من قبل.
Andrew and Tristan Tate have just been arrested in Miami, and their charges consist of rape, having indecent photos of minor, human trafficking, and the list goes on. I think just about 70 charges between the both of them. Now, is this video going to be about their innocence or their non-innocence? No, I'm not going to be addressing that in this video. Rather, I'm going to be addressing a root problem in relation to Andrew Tate, and really in relation to celebrities who become Muslim, or influential people in general who become Muslim and convert to Islam, and even people who are off camera. It doesn't just relate to celebrities per se. Now, in Andrew Tate's case, he became Muslim several years ago. We saw him take the Shahada. Everybody was happy. He's a very influential person. He's going to lead hundreds to Islam. He's going to be a soldier of Allah. He's going to be a sword of Allah. He's going to speak the truth. And that's what everybody was hoping for. That's what was going on in everybody's mind. Andrew Tate is this strong man, and he's teaching strong Islamic values, and maybe he has some mistakes, but surely he's going to learn and he's going to be pious and practice the religion properly, right? Well, that's what everybody thought. But, you know, as we saw Andrew Tate progress in his online career, we saw that Andrew Tate didn't really change much. He continued living his life just like a kafir would live his life. As a matter of fact, he did things after his conversion that are completely antithetical to Islam. He promotes gambling to young men who look up to him. He promotes zina, sleeping with women outside of marriage, having kids with women outside of marriage. He promotes anti-Islamic rhetoric and sides with Islamophobes and hate preachers like Tommy Robinson in the United Kingdom. He says that he has a whole team in Israel that can shut down his business whenever they want. As a matter of fact, the Israelis made him apologize for the incident with Sneeko and Clavicular at the club a few months ago. So is Andrew Tate a great example of a Muslim? No, definitely not. I mean, it's obvious. As a matter of fact, Andrew Tate has committed kufr online multiple times. He has tweets claiming to be the Lord, saying, "I am the Lord, bow down to me," after he's been corrected several times. And I think he's came out and apologized a couple times for his tweets. He's on record, on video, worshiping Jesus, going to church on Easter with his brother and worshiping Jesus, lighting candles for Jesus. He himself says, we are going to go worship Jesus. I'll just let you guys see it. Roll the tape. So obviously the guy hasn't bettered his life in any way. He hasn't changed his lifestyle other than having the label Muslim. And sometimes he talks about Islam very, very, very minimally. But that's about it. Now, why do I mention this? Why are you talking about all of these things, Mr. Orthodox Muslim? Are you just being a hater? Are you hating on brother Andrew Tate? No, I'm not mentioning these things to hate on Andrew Tate. Rather, I'm mentioning these things to tackle a deeper issue, a root issue. And I spoke about this in a previous video about how Muslims have an inferiority complex when it comes to white and European converts. They put them at a pedestal. And this relates to that issue in that Muslims have an inferiority complex in putting celebrities on a pedestal. If a celebrity becomes Muslim, the whole world goes insane. It's hitting the headlines. It's all over the news. Wow, somebody that famous really became Muslim. You see, guys, we're not terrorists. We're not evil people. You see, that person who's very famous and influential, he even became Muslim. And this kind of rhetoric that exists amongst the Muslim community. I'm not going to say that this is everybody, but certainly a lot of people think that way, and it's very apparent in our community. Others view celebrities becoming Muslim as a means for their influence to guide others to Islam, and that's good. In that sense, it's good when influential people become Muslim, when celebrities become Muslim, because they act as a means for their fans, for their followers, for the people that look up to them, to see Islam in a good light, to maybe look into Islam, and they serve a good purpose like that. Now, let me just get into the crux of this video. What am I yapping about? What am I talking about exactly? When somebody becomes Muslim, especially nowadays, there are categories that you could place them under. And these categories, amongst them, is being a pragmatic Muslim. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean, if I were to ask so-and-so person, why did you become Muslim? If they're pragmatically a Muslim, they would say something like, well, I became Muslim because Islam is strong. Islam hasn't fallen to the matrix. You see all these other religions? You see Christianity? It's so weak. Christians don't stand up for anything. Christians allow blasphemy. Christian women are naked. Christian women do OnlyFans. But if you look at Muslim women, they're covered up. Muslim women have traditional values. Muslim men have traditional values. Muslims have a good family unit. Muslims are rejecting modern hedonism and liberalism and secularism. Islam breeds strong people, good societies. And this is why such a person will say he became Muslim, because Islam gives him a social status or a social benefit, a personal gain that he has from Islam. Maybe it gives such a person a community. Maybe it gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of brotherhood or sisterhood. And the list goes on and on. But you see, this is what pragmatic Islam is. And not to say these things are bad. No, these things are good. These things are what Islam breeds, and that's absolutely right. But those things should not be the primary reason that anybody should become a Muslim. And even if they are main reasons that somebody becomes Muslim, they shouldn't be the sole reasons that somebody should become a Muslim. Because more than we think, these people don't actually understand the point behind Islam. They view Islam as something that is merely worldly, something that just benefits them in this life. It's like an aesthetic that they have. It's a communal thing and nothing beyond that. They don't think about the aspect of the afterlife. They don't think about the divine revelation, what it means for the Quran to be true, for Jannah to be true, for Jahannam to be true. They don't understand and experience the reality of the ghaib, of the unseen, of adab al-qabr, of the punishment in the grave, of angels, of jinn, of shaitan, of the stories of the past, the stories of the prophets in the previous nations. For them, these things are, whatever, they're a part of the book that I believe in, they're a part of the religion, whatever. I don't think about heaven and hell that much, the afterlife that much. Islam is something that benefits me. It breeds strong men and women, and that's why I'm Muslim. And this right here is the issue. This right here is not enough. This right here will kill your iman. These things will not benefit you beyond the worldly life. And that's why we see that when somebody becomes Muslim for these reasons, such a person usually doesn't transform his life. He doesn't become pious. He doesn't become more aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't reflect on heaven and hell and punishment. He doesn't ask for forgiveness. He doesn't beg Allah for mercy and forgiveness. He doesn't repent to Allah. He doesn't cry to Allah. He doesn't pray tahajjud. He doesn't pray his 5 daily prayers. And even if he tries to, it'll be very hard. Why? Because at the end of the day, these things are movements for him. They're just rituals that you have to do that come with the package. And this is a wrong approach to Islam. You should be a Muslim because you know with yaqeen, with certainty, Islam is true. The Nabi is true. The Prophet is true. The Messenger is true. And everything he says is the truth and nothing but the truth. And it is as true as 2 + 2 is 4. It is as true as one's own existence. It is as true as the sky being blue and as the water being wet. That's how true Islam is. That's how true Jannah and Jahannam and the Quran and everything in between is. And when you're a Muslim, because you know these things are true, not just for the pragmatic aspect, and only then you will truly learn how to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly, how to worship him properly, how to become more pious, how to become more aware of yourself, of your environment, how to be better, how to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better, how to strive to enter paradise. That is your main goal, to be in paradise. That is how you learn that this world and this life is meaningless. It's nothing but a 50, 60-year-old period that will pass away just like the blink of an eye. And you will understand that true life begins at death. And you're either in the eternal bliss of paradise or the eternal torment of hellfire. So, what you should get from your video, what you should take away from this video is rather a question that you should ask yourself. Why are you a Muslim? Is it because Islam is true and you have 100% yaqeen in the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his trustworthy messenger? Or is it because Islam gives you some kind of social status or worldly benefit? Because Islam is strong and more traditional, less secular, less liberal. Because in Islam you have these benefits as a man. You can marry multiple women. Your woman will cover up. Your kids will obey you. And you just think that's the best life ever. And that's why you're Muslim. Which one of the two I mentioned are you? And if it's the latter, then you should rethink that question and you should rethink that answer. And then maybe then, because a lot of people ask me, how do I, improve? How do I worship Allah better? How do I fear Allah better? How do I become more consistent? It's when you figure out the answer to that question. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
والسؤال الآن لك أنت، ما هو الدافع الحقيقي الذي يجعلك تتمسك بدينك؟ شاركنا رأيك في التعليقات، ولا تنسى الضغط على زر الإعجاب والاشتراك في القناة لتكون أول من يعلم بالحقيقة.